I'm Liyana Hassanel and this is Nightline. The top stories. Former Finance Minister Tun Daim Zainuddin set to be charged in court next week. And QPAX rejects proposal to abolish pension for new government staff. Good morning. The Thaipusam celebration, observed by Hindu devotees on Thursday, was joyously celebrated in a harmonious atmosphere throughout the country. As seen every year, thousands of devotees and tourists from near and far had gathered at the temple grounds in Batu Caves to soak in the experience amidst the hymns, percussion beats and kavadis. The air of festivity was felt at the temple as a sea of devotees flooded the area as early as 8 a.m. to fulfill their vows, carrying palkudam or milk pots and kavadi, in addition to breaking coconuts and shaving their heads as acts of atonement. While many devotees had come to offer prayers and fulfill their vows, the crowd also consisted of a steady stream of tourists who had come to enjoy the festivities and soak in the atmosphere.
We are Malaysian, so for at least once in your lifetime, you should come and enjoy the festivities. I mean, look at this. This is, I don't even know the word to explain it, you know, superb, fantastic.
I'm here for taking pictures as well, for memories, because we don't have that at home.
Yes, it's amazing. It's completely different than my country, so I'm very excited to be here.
So how long have you been in town?
Oh, it's like 3 weeks already. Yep.
It is understood that some 1.75 million people have visited Batu Caves ahead of the festivities on Thursday, while it is expected that up to 2 million people will throng the Batu Caves temple throughout the duration of this year's celebration. In the meantime, Selangor Police Chief Datuk Hussein Omar Khan earlier said that over 1,600 police officers from the state and other states had been assigned to ensure the safety and smooth traffic flow of visitors heading to Batu Caves during the Thaipusam celebration under Ops Palu 2024. Meanwhile, in Pulau Pinang, a 3-day state-level Thaipusam celebrations kicked off with a dynamic and colorful start on Wednesday with a dual chariot procession, a hallmark of the Thaipusam festivities in the state. Continuing with age-old traditions, the golden and silver chariots took to the streets, accompanied by thousands of devotees. This is the 8th year the dual chariot processions have taken to the streets after making their first appearance back in 2017. Pulau Pinang is set for a grand celebration this year, with more than 1 million visitors expected during the 3-day Thaipusam celebration. The dual chariot's return journey will take place on Friday. Former Finance Minister Tun Daim Zainuddin is expected to be charged in court next week. Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki, when contacted, confirmed the matter and said the development comes after the businessman was allowed to be discharged from the hospital on Thursday after being admitted for treatment.
Seperti mana pemakluman oleh pihak peguam, dan sekarang ni kita telah maklumkan pada pihak peguamnya, kita nak setkan masa bagi pertuduhannya pada minggu hadapan. Jadi ketetapan tarikh itu belum dapat lagi. Peguam-peguam menyiasat saya sedang berurusan dengan pihak peguamnya.
On Wednesday, Azam said the MACC had received the Attorney General's Chamber's approval to bring Daim to court since last week, though this was put off since the former minister was in hospital. Azam also did not specify the nature of the charges in question. On Tuesday, Daim's wife, Toh Puan Naimah Abdul Khalid, was charged in the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court with failing to comply with an MACC notice requiring the declaration of assets such as companies, several plots of land, as well as 2 vehicles. The Congress of Unions of Employees in the Public and Civil Services, QPAX, has rejected the proposal to abolish the pension scheme for new hires in the civil service. Its president, Datuk Adnan Mat, said the government should ensure that the current salaries provide a decent standard of living for civil servants and at the same time are sufficient for retirement savings. He said QPAC's standpoint was clear. If the government intended to implement any measures, they must be based on the principle of not reducing the current benefits enjoyed by civil servants. Adnan said the current priority for the government should be to examine cases where individuals serve for a short period but enjoy comfortable benefits, rather than targeting only civil servants. He said, however, if financial constraints hinder the government from continuing the public service pension scheme and it insists on terminating it, then it should begin with politically appointed individuals.
Jika kekangan kewangan menghalang kerajaan untuk meneruskan skim pension yang sedia ada untuk anggota perkhidmatan awam, kerajaan seharusnya langkah awal yang wajar dilaksana sebagai projek perintis kerajaan adalah memasukkan terlebih dahulu pemberian pension kepada ahli-ahli politik.
He said not only do they receive high allowances and allocations while in service, but they also enjoy various privileges compared to civil servants. He added that elected representatives also serve a shorter time, some for only one term, which is equivalent to 5 years, compared to the average of 30 years a government worker gives to public service. Adnan said the government should have engagement sessions with stakeholders before deciding to implement schemes for those new in the civil service. The move to establish a Royal Commission of Inquiry, RCI, to review the issue of Malaysia's sovereignty over Batu Putih, Batuan Tengah and Tubir Selatan will facilitate additional investigations to uncover the truth behind the issue. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Law and Institutional Reform, Datuk Sri Azalina Othman Syed, said the establishment of the RCI will also assist the government in processes and procedures related to national sovereignty.
But you must understand, isu kedaulatan tidak boleh decided by just one person saja. Isu kedaulatan, there cannot be a mistake on kedaulatan. What happened in Sulu is something that kita kena belajar. We cannot have a mistake on sovereignty. And sovereignty is about border, it's about island. Sovereignty is about a lot of things.
Azalina said the RCI will also assist the government in determining the agency responsible for matters involving sovereignty. She said that although the Special Task Force on Batu Putih had concluded its report, the matter was still subject to the Official Secrets Act, OSA, and had not been made public yet. In the meantime, Azalina added that she will be tabling the State Immunity Bill in the next Parliament session to safeguard Malaysia's sovereignty from being challenged. On Wednesday, during the Cabinet meeting, an agreement was reached to establish an RCI tasked with examining the management of issues related to the sovereignty of Batu Putih, Batuan Tengah and Tubir Selatan.
New water rates. How to guarantee that the adjustment contribute to essential infrastructure improvements and long-term conservation efforts? Maintaining water quality and reducing pollution. What effective measures are needed to counter the potential impact of industrial activities on water quality? Money Matters with National Water Services Commission Chairman Charles Santiago this Saturday on TV3 and live HD stream on Tonton.
Water supply for some 120,000 consumers who have been affected by the underwater pipe leak in Sungai Purai is expected to resume as early as Friday morning. According to Pulau Pinang Chief Minister Chow Kon Yeow, divers have managed to clamp the upper part of the leaking pipe and repair works will continue to clamp the lower part. Chow said the emergency plan, or Plan A, has been successfully carried out, despite difficulties faced by the divers, who had to deal with the strong current at the bottom of the river on Thursday morning. Chow, who was speaking to the media after inspecting the pipework in Ampang Jajar, said if the work goes according to schedule, the remaining 16% of affected consumers will see water recovery no later than Sunday morning, including for affected consumers at the end of line and high ground.
Kalau A berjaya, 2-3 hari ini kita akan dapat bekalkan air. Tetapi apabila sampai waktu B memerlukan sambungan, kita perlu hentikan air dan melaksanakan sambungan ini dalam tempoh 16 jam atau kurang dari itu.
Chow added that Plan B, which is the installation of 2 new 600mm pipelines and the disconnection of a 1,350mm underwater pipeline was 70% complete. The leak at the bottom of Sungai Prai on Tuesday was the third occurrence after 2 incidents of pipe leaks were reported in December last year and on January 12 this year. Police have not received any information so far about Malaysians allegedly serving as mercenaries alongside Russians in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk region, as claimed by a Ukrainian military report. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein said Bukit Aman Special Branch had checked on the claim with its counterparts in Europe. Elaborating further, Razaruddin said these mercenaries should not be classified as terrorists, as they likely represent a specific nation rather than a violence-oriented organization. He, however, said the police would not compromise if any citizens are identified as mercenaries or terrorists engaging in warfare in tumultuous regions. He said stringent measures can be taken under the Special Measures Against Terrorism in Foreign Countries Act 2015, SMARTA, against any citizens they ascertain to be involved in violent activities. He said police will consistently exchange information with the government and the Immigration Department of Malaysia, and if any citizens are found to be involved in terrorist or mercenary activities, their passports will be promptly revoked. Earlier media reports claimed that Malaysian mercenaries, accompanied by a translator and a former Wagner member, were detected in the temporarily occupied territories of Donetsk in eastern Ukraine. It claimed that the fighters were currently undergoing training at the designated ground. Thousands left without power as Cyclone currently hits Australia. News from the foreign front when we return.
Okay, today we fight for Malaysia. Jom na Jos. Harimau.
Jos. Extra Jos dengan Royal Gel, ginseng Korea dan vitamin B kompleks.
Bersama kekal bertenaga. Jom na Jos.
Extra Jos.
Orang Sarawak, mari kita gegarkan konsert Jom Heboh di Karnival Jom Heboh segulai sejalai Sarawak di Kuching. Saksikan persembahan hebat selebriti tanah air seperti Kakak Azraf, Liza Hanim, Hail Husaini, Kai Bahar, Baby Shima, Rahmat Mega, Ram dan ramai lagi. Bersama hos Aisyah Mazlin dan Muaz yang sedia gamatkan malam konsert kita.
Jumpa saya di Karnival Jom Heboh Sarawak
pada tanggal 26 hingga 28 Januari ini bersama ramai lagi artis yang akan bersama-sama kami.
MHI sepanjang minggu.
Jika tambang bas sekolah naik, terkesan dan terbebankah masyarakat?
Jadi usahawan memang banyak cabarannya, lagi-lagi isu paten dan cap dagangan.
Sebenarnya Taipusan kita bawakan menu daripada kacang dal yang istimewa.
Tak lama lagi dah nak raya, dekat pula dengan penggal persekolahan.
Rancanglah bajet untuk keduanya dalam Soal Wang.
MHI setiap Isnin hingga Jumaat di TV3.
Jika stream secara HD, ditonton.
We're back with news from the foreign front. The Zionist regime bombarded areas around 2 hospitals in Gaza's main southern city, Khan Yunis, on Thursday, forcing displaced people into a new desperate scramble for safe shelter. According to Gaza's health ministry, at least 50 Palestinians had been killed in the past 24 hours, including 2 children in an Israeli airstrike that hit a residential home in Khan Yunis. The city was reportedly encircled by Israeli forces and was under almost non-stop aerial and ground fire. Israeli tanks had also cut off and were shelling targets around Khan Yunis' 2 main still functioning hospitals, Nasser and Al-Amal, trapping medical teams, patients and displaced people sheltering inside or nearby. The siege of the hospitals has also made it near impossible for rescue crews to reach the wounded or collect the dead. To date, the death toll in Gaza has surged to 25,700 Palestinians, with 63,740 others left wounded. Meanwhile, the International Court of Justice, ICJ, said it will announce on Friday whether it will order emergency measures against the Zionist regime, following South Africa's filing of a case accusing Israel of genocide for its assault in Gaza. The United Nations top court said in a statement on Wednesday that the 17-judge panel will hand down its ruling in court at about 12 p.m. local time. South Africa's Foreign Minister, Naledi Pandor, will travel to The Hague to be present at the court as it delivers its announcement. However, the ICJ in its ruling will not address the main question of whether Israel is committing genocide. Instead, it will examine possible emergency measures requested by South Africa to restrain the Zionist regime's actions. Over in Australia, tens of thousands of homes are without power across Townsville and its surrounding areas as Cyclone Curly pummels North Queensland with very destructive wind gusts. According to the Bureau of Meteorology, the focus early this morning shifted to life-threatening flash flooding after the storm was downgraded to Category 1 at about midnight, with the peak wind gusts of up to 170 kilometers per hour reported earlier near the centre, expected to ease before midnight. However, it said damaging wind gusts up to 120 kilometers per hour could still be felt near the coast and offshore islands between Cardwell and Eyre, including Townsville. So far, more than 34,000 homes and businesses were without power across much of Townsville, and at least another 8,700 premises were affected in Burdekinshire towns. North Korea conducted its first test of a new generation cruise missile as it continues to expand its military capabilities. The official Korean Central News Agency reported on Thursday that the Pulhwasal 331 missile was still in its development phase and described the missile as strategic, implying an intent to arm it with nuclear weapons. It, however, added that the test fire had no impact on the security of neighboring countries and has nothing to do with the regional situation. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff, in the meantime, said it believed the firing was to test upgrades of existing missiles' capabilities. Malaysia fight back to hold South Korea in final group game. Actions from the AFC Asian Cup after this breather.
Orang Sarawak, jom ke Karnival Jom Heboh segulai sejalai Sarawak untuk aneka keriangan bersama keluarga. Temui selebriti dan maskot kami serta sertai pelbagai aktiviti menarik, hiburan dan dapatkan hadiah percuma sepanjang hari. Jumpa anda semua 26 hingga 28 Januari ini di Kuching, Sarawak. Jom, jom, jom. Sarawak, bumi dengan khazanah semula jadi bertaraf dunia. Keindahan alam, kehalusan seni, keharmonian budaya. Destinasi pilihan yang menggamit semua. Sarawak menanti kunjungan anda.
Fatin, bila ada duit tak ada cinta rasa sunyi. Tapi bila ada cinta tak ada duit, susahlah juga
Okey, tapi nak pilih cinta ke duit sebenarnya?
Bestnya dapat makan sotong.
Kalau sotong sambal, sotong bakar lagi sedap.
Dialah yang hebat, dialah paling bagus, dialah terpaling semua.
Kejap, ini macam obses dengan diri sendiri je.
Fatin, duit banyak khasiat, tahu tak?
Betul, saya setuju tu.
Kalau pasangan minta perhatian, berikan je lah.
Jangan sampai perhatian tu orang lain yang bagi.
Semua ni di WHI TV3.
Dan anda boleh stream HD ditonton.
Kelembutan jiwa wanita menjadi pengukur kasih sayang.
Saya dibesarkan dengan melihat sendiri gajah tu di depan mata.
Haiwan yang penyayang. Kalau kita baik dengan dia, dia baik dengan kita. Kalau kita sayang dia akan sayang kita lebih lagi.
Penjagaan orkid ni sangat senang sebenarnya. Orkid boleh tahan 10 tahun. Kalau berbunga tu boleh dalam sebulan.
Apakah peranan seorang suami atau isteri yang soleh-solehah? Dia digoda oleh orang perempuan yang masih muda, lain perginya. Ya, taubat tak taubat, be careful.
We're back with sports football, the AFC Asian Cup. Malaysia defied the form book to hold South Korea to a gripping 3-3 draw in the last match of Group E at the Al Janoub Stadium on Thursday. South Korea took the lead in the 22nd minute through Jeong Woo-young, but Muhammad Faisal Abdul Halim equalized for Malaysia just 6 minutes into the second half. Arif Aiman Muhammad Hanafi then made it 2-1 in the 62nd minute after he calmly converted a penalty following Sol Yong-woo's earlier foul on him. However, South Korea pulled level when goalkeeper Ahmad Shihan Hazmi Mohammed scored an own goal in the 83rd minute. Tottenham Hotspur star Son Heung-min then scored a penalty goal in injury time for a 3-2 lead. As Harimau Malaya seemed to face another loss, substitute Romel Morales stunned the stadium by scoring a dramatic leveller in the dying minutes. With this, Malaysia finished 4th with 1 point, while South Korea secured the 2nd position and will face the winner of Group F in the round of 16. In another match, Bahrain secured a 1-0 victory against Jordan at the Khalifa International Stadium to take Juan Antonio Pizzi's side into the last 16 as winners of Group E. Bahrain's Abdullah Yusuf hit the only goal of the game from a counter-attack in the 34th minute when he sprinted from the centre circle with just the keeper to beat and pulled the trigger from outside the box to seal the win. The Reds will next play Japan, who finished 2nd in Group D. Still on football, the German Bundesliga. Bayern Munich secured a 1-0 home win against Union Berlin in their postponed game on Thursday, narrowing the gap with Bayer Leverkusen to 4 points. After a goalless first half, Rafael Guerreiro broke the deadlock seconds into the restart, slotting in the rebound from Harry Kane's shot that had bounced off the post. Minutes later, Kane thought he had broken the record for the most goals in the first half of the season when he struck a second, but his neat effort was ruled out for offside. In the heat of the match, Union head coach Nenad Bielica was sent off in the 74th minute for shoving Bayern's Leroy Sane twice in the face after the player approached him to retrieve the ball. With this victory, Bayern climbed to 2nd place with 44 points, while Leverkusen continued to lead the title race with 48 points. After the short break, Tawau murder case, court frees all accused after ex-wife confesses to killing e-hailing driver.
Skizofrenia antara masalah kesihatan mental yang semakin membimbangkan.
Saya akan mulalah dengan suara-suara ataupun dengan benda-benda yang boleh dikatakan seram jugalah.
Adakah pesakit boleh menjalani kehidupan seperti sedia kala?
Kadang-kadang kalau kita dah tunjukkan bukti apa yang diorang percaya ni tak betul, tak tepat, dia akan kata kita salah.
Dilema Skizofrenia. Hello Doktor, Ahad 5.30 petang di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
我们的目标，太阳之雷。10 pencuri bergabung. demi menyelesaikan satu misi. Dan satu agenda di sebaliknya. Menjayakan misi The Thieves. Jumaat ini 10 malam di TV3 Cinema dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Welcome back. 8 people, including former Eastern Sabah Security Command ESCOM Intelligence Chief, Senior Assistant Commissioner Datuk Mat Zaki Mat Zain, has been acquitted of murdering 61-year-old e-hailing driver Nurman Bakaratu in January last year. The development comes after Nurman's ex-wife, while testifying in court early on Thursday, confessed to murdering the victim. The hearing was supposed to resume on Thursday, but the courtroom was shaken by the testimony of the 23rd witness, 35-year-old Nurimah Juli, who is the victim's ex-wife, who confessed to killing Nurman at Jalan Anjur Juara, Batu Lima Jalan Apas at about 8 p.m. on January 13th last year, using a pair of scissors which she kept in her purse. Tawau High Court Judge Datuk Duncan Sikodol made the decision to acquit all the accused after the prosecution halted the case, taking into account new developments on the 8th day of the trial. On July 7th, Mat Zaki, aged 58, along with 6 policemen and a civilian, were charged with the murder of the e-hailing driver. Mat Zaki faced 2 charges of conspiring to murder Nurman under Section 109 of the Penal Code, read together with Section 302 of the same code. The other accused comprised 6 police officers and 1 civilian. Rosdi Rastam, 45, Dennis Anit, 45, Fibin Rungam, 44, Khairul Azman Bakar, 47, Muhammad Azlan Sakaran, 40, John Kennedy Sangha, 44, and Vivian Fabian, 34. In acquitting the 8 individuals, the judge ordered them to be released immediately. Police have opened an investigation paper over a viral clip of a family robbing a gadget accessory store in Kota Tinggi, Johor. Kota Tinggi District Police Chief Husin Zamora said the 51-second video posted on Wednesday captured several individuals entering Gadget Station, Kota Tinggi, around 7 p.m. and engaging in theft of items from the premises. In a closed-circuit television CCTV recording posted on social media, several individuals believed to be family members were seen alighting from a potonwira before entering the premise. The video then cut to a boy unpacking an item that was displayed in the store that was supposed to be for sale before he hid the packaging under the display rack. Another person believed to be part of the group were also seen trying to hide something that he took from a display rack. Husin said police will initiate an investigation into this matter and urges the involved individual or any affected business owner to promptly report to the nearest police station. In Terengganu, a 35-year-old man has been successfully arrested by police, while 2 other suspects managed to escape following a pursuit in Dungun. Dungun Police Chief Superintendent Mazura Abdul Kadir said police had to chase the lorry for about 100 kilometers before successfully intercepting the vehicle and arresting a man at the Jambatan Sungai Dungun near Pulau Serai. The incident unfolded when members of the police patrol unit encountered a lorry with 3 suspects acting suspiciously in Kampung Santong Paka, prompting them to order a stop for inspection. Spooked by the police presence, the lorry driver made a swift escape, entering the East Coast Highway 2, LPT2, through the Paka Toll Plaza, heading towards Kuala Terengganu. The lorry then exited through the Ajil Hulu Terengganu Toll Plaza before turning back to Kuantan using Jalan Jerangan Jabur. Police successfully stopped the lorry at around 6:55 a.m. after the lorry crashed into a roadblock set up by authorities in the Jarangau area, arresting 1 suspect while the 2 others managed to escape after they took a leap into Sungai Dungun. Inspection on the lorry found a 44.2-meter-long cable belonging to Syarikat Telekom Malaysia, believed to be stolen. Initial investigations also revealed that the arrested suspect from Kuantan had 9 previous criminal records related to drugs. The suspect was then taken to the Dungun Police Headquarters for further investigation, while the 2 remaining suspects, both in their 30s, are still at large. As we wrap up this edition of Nightline, let's take a look as 200 drones lit up Madrid's sky, drawing figures of iconic tourist destinations like the Taj Mahal and the Eiffel Tower, as the Future International Tourism Fair kicked off. With that, I'm Liyana Hassanel. Thank you for tuning in and stay safe, Malaysia.